right, Man United boss Ruben Amorim spoke to the media yesterday ahead of next week's Europa League final against Spurs, and he was asked, "What are you doing?"
Nothing.
"What are you doing, Benny?" I'm trying to read something. You just
Sorry.
And he was asked, "What would mean more, the trophy itself or qualifying for the Champions League?"
Personally, for me, I think Champions League is more important for everything to prepare the next season, and we are supposed to be in Champions League, and Europa League here is not enough, and you have that feeling here. So this is the best way to help us to get in the top in a few years. Is Champions League, is not the title, is not the cup. So for me, Champions League is more important.
Wow. Surprised you there? He said Champions League is more important than the trophy.
No, I think for...
I'm surprised that.
Yeah, for a club like Manchester United, I think it's all about the Champions League. I know you can't beat winning the trophy, but we've seen Erik ten Hag win 2 in the last 2 years and then still lose his job. But I think it's about the Champions League. Like, yes, if they win it, of course, you're never going to turn your nose up at winning the trophy, but... I'm growing up in a time where Manchester United were in the Champions League every single season. Is that standard? Like you can almost at the start of the season just go, right, what we're doing for next season, Champions, because we're going to have that Champions League money. That's how we just knew. Now all of a sudden you're looking at this Manchester United team and thinking, well, when are they ever going to get back into the Champions League?
They're favourites to win it.
Yeah.
If they don't win it, United, how much pressure on Amorim?
Well, I think they might think about letting him go.
You think so?
Yeah. Do you know why? And I know people think that's just drastic, but I think the guy's won 6 Premier League games.
Yeah.
We've seen bigger impacts with lesser squads. Like, you got to think, for large parts of the season, right, we were looking at teams like Wolves, who else was down? Everton. Teams like that, and we were going, oh my goodness, like they might go down, they made changes.
Wolves, that's a great shout, Wolves.
Right, Wolves. Yeah. Wolves are now 14th, ahead of Manchester United.
What Everton, Victor Pereira's coming and done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everton are above them as well. We've seen Potter come in, and I know he's not been great, but he's even above them.
It's crazy, isn't it?
So you go...
There's been no new manager bounce at all.
Whatsoever.
Like nothing. Like, okay, yeah, there's a couple of good... Nothing.
Nothing. In the Europa, I give it to them. They've been very good in the Europa. I haven't lost the game.
The standard's so low, though. You watch it and it's like... You know the worst thing is about Europa League? You got Champions League football the day before. And the drop-off is just incredible.
But obviously now as well, there's no drop-in from the Champions League into the Europa to make it harder to win it if you was in there originally. So it's been a really, really poor by Ruben Amorim. But again, you got to give them a window, I guess, the summer to bring these players. But I just think if they don't win this competition, and say they finish below Spurs, so they finished 17th, oh my goodness, it's horrific.
Yeah. And it's not like there's a war chest of 500 million.
No.
There isn't that. United just don't have that pool anymore, all the money. So tough time, I think, for Ruben Amorim if he doesn't win. All right, let's go through some awards. The Premier League have announced their Manager of the Year, Player of the Year, and Young Player of the Year. Let's go through it very quickly. Manager of the Year, these are the nominees. Thomas Frank. Okay. Eddie Howe, obviously won a trophy. They're in a Champions League position. Nuno Espirito Santo, who was my favourite until they started losing. Vitor Pereira, who we just mentioned, has come in. Wolves have been incredible since he's come in. And Arne Slot, obviously Premier League winners. No Arteta.
What's funny? Champions second currently. Champions League.
That's what I'm saying. I'm so surprised he's not there.
Oh, the PFA, is that just Premier League only?
I think it's just Premier League only.
Okay.
So he should be there, innit, really? If you're second in the league, you really should be there.
I mean, it's Arne Slot's, isn't it? Like, he's got that in the back. Like, he's come into a new league. He's walked the Premier League, walked it.
Yeah. He's in bloody Marbella, isn't he?
Oh, I love it though. When they on the mic, called him up and that. I love that.
I believe it. You didn't think he was a Marbella type person, if I'm honest.
Nah, but obviously once he wins, man, just lets his air out. But
kind of. Yeah.
Like you.
Right,
but no, Arne Slot. I think this season he's absolutely walked it. They've only lost 3 Premier League games. I think the one against Chelsea as well. They'd already won it, so it was a bit like. But no, he's been brilliant because Jurgen Klopp, him leaving, I think a lot of people, myself included, I always thought they'd finish in the top 4, but I never felt Liverpool would win the title. I thought it would come from City or Arsenal.
I don't even think the most hardest Liverpool fan would have said that.
No, but he's been pretty much faultless. He's tactically changed 1 or 2 little bits and bobs. He's done it when you've had the not controversy, but the contract situation with Salah, with Van Dijk, with Trent. He's managed to galvanise the squad, get the best out of Salah. Van Dijk's
very good with the media as well.
Yeah, Van Dijk's levels high. Obviously, he's now deal with his Trent circus as well, but I mean, he's head and shoulders above everyone. So
I like what he's done with Gravenberch and Gakpo. He's come in and given them, especially the Gravenberch one.
Does he become is he an elite manager now?
Not yet.
He has to be.
Elite.
He's won the Premier League.
Yeah. And he did win the Dutch League a couple of seasons back as well.
Yeah, so because we always say you have to be an elite manager, you have to win a big trophy of some sort. That's massive.
And I think getting knocked out to I think the eventual winners of the Champions League and PSG now doesn't look bad. You want to lose to the winners,
It still looks bad.
Yeah, still looks bad. All right. All right, nice. All right, player of the season. Here we go. 8. 8's always overkill for me. Just 6 would be nice. Morgan Gibbs-White, Ryan Gravenberch, Alexander Isak, Brian Mbeumo, Declan Rice, Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Chris Wood. 2 Forest players in there.
And do you know what? Again, Chris Wood, I think he's got 20 Premier League goals he's got now. I think he's now in the 20 club.
His turnaround's incredible. Like when Newcastle shipped him out, I think we all thought that was it. Like that was it, really. You know, you're shipping out a player that's going to maybe be a fringe sort of player for someone. If he doesn't play for Forest don't work. It doesn't work if he doesn't play.
No, it doesn't. And he's managed to turn himself around. He's been fantastic. 20 goals in the Premier League season. That was always the gold standard. If you could get to that, then you've had a really, regardless what happens.
Owen never got that.
No, you've had a fantastic season.
Ollie Watkins ain't got that.
19 last year, close. But no, fair play to him. He's had a good season, but I think Salah or Van Dijk, because Virgil for me is the most important player at Liverpool. But when you look at just Salah's numbers, I still look at it now, and I'm looking at goals and assists, and it's so Alexander Isak is on 29 and he's second. Salah is top on 46. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm looking. His average,
and by the way, in the last 10 games, he's dropped off.
Exactly. His average rating this season is 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
assists 18 goals, 28. I mean, he's pretty much expected goals 24.1. Like, it's for me, yes, Salah. It's got to be Salah.
Frightening. I'm with you on Virgil van Dijk. I'm happy you said that. I think he's had a fantastic season. Anyone that shouldn't be in there very quickly?
No, I think they warrant their places. Who do you think, Addy?
No one. A young player of the year: Liam Delap, Elanga, Ryan Gravenberch, Huijsen, everyone's going crazy about. Cole Palmer, João Pedro, Morgan Rogers, William Saliba, 24-year-old William Saliba in the Young Player of the Year nominee.
It can only be
24-year-old.
It can only be Ryan Gravenberch, I think.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Because the turnaround in his performances have been, except I know Arne Slot deserves a lot of credit, but
how's Lewis Skelly not there?
He's got to be there.
I know everyone's like, oh, you only had a half a season. Well, some of these,
he's in his left back now.
Yeah, and it's been an incredible half season. I could argue and say Cole Palmer's had half a season.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? His half a season was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's frightening, isn't it? Gravenberch has been good, doing he?
I just think so, because look at Liverpool. How can you have? Like, I know you've got the Salahs and Van Dijks and Gravenberch. He almost doesn't get the same, not same love, because
I get you.
Do you know what I mean? But he has been so important to what Liverpool do.
Yeah.
And it's almost like
we tried to get Zubimendi, we tried to get Caicedo, we tried to get Lavia.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, Gravenberch, you've got to do the job. And he's been just sensational, honestly. All right, still to come, we are going to be joined by William Gallas, who will be looking back on Chelsea's 2005 title win. But first, it's time for No Googling. In that 2005 title win, Chelsea lost just one league game that season. Simple question. We want to know, who was it against? 2004-05, Chelsea lost one league game that season. Who is it against? Answer when we come back.
TalkSport Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.